I think inaction is the single biggest point of failure someone can have. There's so many people that I know that have these grand ideas or plans that they just never do. And you can plan it out to the micro decimal, but if you never take action, it is feasibly impossible to do anything with it. I think that's another reason why super highly intelligent people don't make for great business owners because you have a high IQ, you can think of so many things that can go wrong. Therefore, if this many things can go wrong, why even try? You kind of have to be a little stupid or naive to have these massive dreams. And that's that's the way it should be. But you really need to be, at least to some degree, a little bit naive to the world because there's so much negative things that can go on. It's endless. And if you try and start to plan things out, you could think of millions of negative consequences that could come. But the people who do it, they are the ones who reap the reward. When you are naive, you are willing to take extraordinary amounts of risks where it will probably make you jump into opportunities that others are probably more cautious to. I'll give you an example. When I was 18, after I had taken my first and second flight, I got a tattoo of some dude's logo on my leg to try and meet him. I got his email, then I went to his live event a few months after that. At that live event, I met some random person who arbitrage the airlines to where he had unlimited points. And he asked if I wanted to go to Vegas, but I didn't have the money. It was just this guy. He's what, 35, 40 years old, and me. He said, "Do you want to go to Vegas? I have something going on there." I said, "Sure, but I don't have enough money for a flight." He booked it for me. This is a guy that I met once for probably a few hours that I talked to him. Then he is going to be flying me out to Vegas, where we are going to be spending a weekend when I'm 18 years old, still in high school. Every single person calls you stupid, everything's going to go wrong, nothing could go right. Because I took that trip and took a leap of faith, because I was naive and I understood the downside risks, you could get whatever, killed, whatever. That's what everyone said to me. Dude, this is the most sus thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because I went on that trip, I ended up getting the job with the guy that I took my first ever flight, George Gammon, uh, a few days after that. And the reason, because we didn't just fly straight to Vegas, we flew to Arizona, where we got dinner with George because I had gotten his personal email before that. We talked to him. After that, that's when I got the job. That took so much risk, which was only possible because I was naive, but I was willing to do anything. And it would have been so easy if I thought out every single nook and cranny to just say, no, this is too risky. A cost benefit analysis doesn't really make sense here. You don't really know the downside risk. I don't know this person. If I didn't do that, I definitely would not have gotten the job. The only reason why I got the job with George Gammon is because I went on this trip and got dinner with George. And the guy I went on the trip with, his name is Justin. But I remember so vividly, every single person said that I was so crazy, uh, that he was my sugar daddy, that I was getting raped, I was getting killed. Everyone said the exact same thing because the optics looked so bad. But I just said, screw you guys, I don't care, I'm going. And it was crazy looking back at it. If someone said that exact same story to me, I would say, dude, you're a crazy SOB. But sometimes that's what it takes. And having some degree of naiveness and not being the smartest person allows you to take that asymmetric risk, which turns out to be the single best decision I ever made because it had a trickle down effect, which led to exactly where I am today. But most people have these super grand plans and they think it through instead of just doing it and figuring it out later, because that's actually how you learn. At least for me, I never learned in a classroom. I could not tell you a singular thing I learned for my entire school career. I really only started learning stuff in the past 4 years, call it, because I've been running a business, I've been doing all of these things. I think it's good to be cautious in some ways, but when you have absolutely nothing to lose, and you have nothing going on in your life, that was the time for me when I said, I'm going to take unlimited risk pretty much to make this happen. And if I don't make it happen, then at least I tried my absolute best. But eventually, it's impossible to fail if you try enough times. I would have still been trying every single day, and I would have just gotten progressively more and more crazy with my attempts until I found someone to work under. I was First, I started off by reaching out, cold email, just saying, hey, I'll work for you for free. Then I went to, hey, I'll pay you to work for you. Then I went to, hey, I'll pay you 10% of what I earn for the next 10 years to work for you. Then I went to, I'm going to get a tattoo on your logo. I'm going to take my first ever flight and I'm going to meet you uh, to work for you. And I would have gotten crazier and crazier until I made it happen. So I think that the world will really just see how much effort you are willing to put into something before you get the inevitable reward. At least that, I don't know. I think there's some irony in it. But anyway, I gotta go. Goodbye.